In this video, we will work on Fall 2011 Math 21 Test 2. Number 1. A sequence of 5-digit number will be formed using the digits 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Notice that we are missing 2. Now, part A. How many numbers can be formed using different digits? Now, notice that we are creating a sequence of 5-digit numbers. Now, how many numbers can be formed with different digits? In other words, we don't allow repetition. Now, there are 5 digits to do. The first place, how many numbers can we use? How many numbers do we have here? Now, it seems like we have 8, but remember that we're missing 2. So we actually have only 7 numbers. Okay, now then we will start. The first digit we have 7 choices. The second digit we have 6 choices, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3. Okay, now that is actually if you think about that, that is actually the same to say that 7 numbers, you need to permute 5 of them. Now you should, if you either way, you will get the same number. Let me see if I use calculator. If I use calculator, 7 permute 5, that will be 2520. Now if I use the conventional way of doing it, that will be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. That gives me the same number. Okay, now so you can use counting principle or the permutation. Either way, you will get the same number. Part B. How many numbers can be formed if digits may be repeated? Again, we use 5 digits, right? There are 5 digits, and you can repeat the digit you use. In other words, if the first place you have 7, the second place you still have 7 choices, and so on. In total, you will have 7 to the 5th, which if I use calculator, I get 16,807. Now, part C. How many even numbers can be formed using different digits? Now, the one that determines that it is an even number is the last digit, right? Imagine if you have 5 digits number, that number will be even number if the last digit is an even number, right? Now, so let's work on the last one first here. How many choices do we have? We have how many even numbers? Out of these 7, we have 4 and 6 and 8 as our even numbers. So we have 3 choices of even numbers to put at the last one. Now then, from there, we go back to the first one and see how many choices we have. After you use one number here, because it has to be different, right? Then the first place, then after you place an even number there, the first place you only have 6 choices, not 7 anymore. And then because it has to be different, then this is 5, the third place will be 4, and the last one will be 3. Okay, the fourth one, I mean, because we first work on the last digit, we put an even number there, and then from there we do the first, second, third, fourth digit. Okay, now if I use my calculator, I'll get 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 3. That gives me 1080. Part D. How many even numbers can be formed if digits may be repeated? Again, I prepare 5 spaces, and because the last digit has to be an even number, then just like before, we have 3 choices of numbers there. And then I go back to the first one. Notice that I may repeat the digit. In other words, you still have 7 choices. In fact, you have 7 choices for each one of them except for the last one. Now, when I use my calculator, I get 7,203. Okay, that's for number 1. Now, I think number 2 is quite short, that I can just do this at once. How many games should be played in a league of 8 teams, where each team should play against every other team, of course. Now, each game takes 2 teams. Now, so if the question is how many games should be played in a league of 8 teams, then we should think of how many group of 2s can we have from these 8 teams. Now, the answer is not 4. It should be 8 choose 2. The order is not important, right? Now, if we use calculator, 8 choose 2, you will see there's supposed to be 28. But let's see. I hope you remember how to punch it. We first go to, you need to remember how to punch it on your calculator. Okay, 8 choose 2, that's 28. Okay, this is for 2011 Math 21 Test 2, number 1 and number 2.